I'm going to be talking about two courses. The first is CS 445, Software Requirement and Specification. It's the first course of a sequence. It's the requirement course of a three-course sequence that teaches about requirement specification, implementation, testing, enhancement, and management of software. The first course is CS. Okay, if there's the three-course sequence, you can take the same courses in three different departments. So since we're CS, we're talking about 445, this one. The next one I'm going to talk about is 446. And then someone else, I think, is going to talk about 447. Next slide. OK, this course is about requirement specification. Requirements are the desired behavior of systems that you want to build, software primarily. What are we trying to accomplish? And most importantly, what does the customer want? Next. A specification is a description of the proposed behavior of the system. That is a description of the requirement. And it helps us answer questions such as, can we build a software system that meets our goals, and what would that do? Now, for an example of a specification, you've all had programming assignments. That's a specification. Next. Now, why an entire course on specification? Well, we've learned that 80 to 85% of all software errors that are discovered at any time during the life of a program can be traced back to bad requirements. And we've also learned that the cost to fix an error grows exponentially with the life cycle stage. So if you can fix it when you're writing the requirement, it might cost maybe a couple minutes. By the time you wait until the software has been delivered, you're talking about hours and hours, maybe weeks, to fix the same problem because of all the other artifacts that are now connected to that requirement. Next. The course introduces students to requirement definition phase of software development. It discusses models, notation, processes for software requirement identification, representation analysis, and validating them with the customer. Next. The course is about how to elicit, discover, invent, document, validate, manage, and estimate the cost of requirement for a computer-based system. Next. The topics are lifecycle models, requirement modeling, requirement elicitation, requirement analysis, requirement specification, and cost estimation. Now, of course, you're interested in how we evaluate you and how much work is involved. 40% of the course is for the course project, a requirement specification that you have to write, and some exercises that lead up to it. 10% is the midterm, and 50% is the final exam, because it's also an engineering course, and they require 50% for final exam. There are no graduate students here, so we skip that. In teams, you will require a requirement specification for some medium-sized system, such as a DVD recorder, or this term, for example, a bidirectional word processor. There will be several assignments that relate to that and help you get ready to do it, so you don't have to do it all in the last week. Okay, next. The project will allow you to apply the principles that we're teaching in the class. Next. Okay, now, this is about the second course, CS 446. Its title is Software Design and Architecture and Project Management. So it usually follows requirement analysis in a normal life cycle. So that's in fact why it follows. Okay, so this course has three names depending on which department you're in. we're in CS, so we're taught 436. Now, the course introduces students to the design, implementation, and evaluation phases of software development. It discusses software development, design processes, methods, and notation for implementation of design, evolution of design, and implementation, and the management of all of these activities. So the topics are life cycle matters again, as applied to this phase, modularity, architecture, design notation and processes, management and cost estimation based on design rather than requirement, and risk management, trying to prevent all those things that can go wrong from killing you, implementation, integration and configuration management, evolution, maintenance, and enhancement. Okay. Thank you. Are there any questions about it? In case you're worried, all of these courses have a heavy workload. So don't be surprised. But you're going to have fun. Okay? Because your TAs and your professors will be your customers.